whatever. Doing a lot of cactus related stuff today. I brought a lot of seedling containers that I want to go through again. Then I brought one that I dropped, where we have to kind of rearrange the seedlings, transplant them. So I put this aside. I also, for today, I brought a lot of washed pumice. You can see it. This is just washed pumice in a pretty small particle size, maybe 0 to 0.4 or maybe 0 to 0.8, something like that. And yeah, we might use it later. I just put it away, but we might come back to it later. This kind of stuff is great for seedlings, helps you to have a perfect drainage at the root system. So we will use it, but only for the seedlings. Everything small, that is very sensitive, that is very fragile. These kinds of plants, we will pot in washed pumice. Washed pumice has a right pH level, pretty neutral, and yeah, it's a perfect medium. At least the pumice that you get from certain areas in Europe, like I definitely know that the one in Germany has perfect pH level for growing plants. Of course, you always need to kind of keep an eye out for other toxins that can be in the soil that can be bad for the plants. But usually, washed pumice, if it has the right pH level and everything, it will be great. Yeah, so I brought new seedlings. I want to do that first today again. Brought 3 different seedlings or containers full of seedlings. Then I want to clean these up a little bit. So that is what I want to do first. I always bring these from the greenhouse, and then I check them and decide what to do. So, and in this case here, yeah, plant looks interesting, but we will have a closer look at that later. I first just want to take out the oxalis again. Trying to do it away from my face. I don't want to, you're always ripping out dust. I don't want to breathe it in. So yeah, keeping it a little further away from my body. Okay, here also oxalis everywhere. It's crazy how much oxalis can come out in a small pot like this, but it's everywhere. They just love the nutrients that they get, that the cacti get, and they hang themselves on top of it. Yeah, so welcome everyone to the stream, to the live stream, Cactus live stream podcast thing. I'm just in the middle of cleaning this grafted seedling. I had to remove a lot of oxalis again. Oxalis is just everywhere right now in my pots. I'm constantly, every time I handle a plant, I look for oxalis and remove it, but it's also always coming back. So let me see what we have here. This is a plant by Ingo Bartels from 2022. Not sure what kind of a mother is involved. I mean, it only says that the parents are the breeder's code of Ingo Bartels is BS. BS 15, KA 55, 52, crossed with Liscus Schätzelein. So theoretically, these are good parents, and the body looks interesting, like a multi-hybrid kind of thing. Check it out. Has that little bit of lobevia that you can see in the ribs. So yeah, this one can go back into the greenhouse now. It looks great. I haven't seen any kind of problems with mealybug, which we can encounter in the next months. And every time we will encounter mealybug, we will treat it. We will treat it with neem oil, with a combination of neem oil and another some sort of, I don't know, additive that makes it applicable. So we will use that against mealybug. But yeah, so next one. Yeah, this one's also looking interesting. Let me see what the label says. Jürgen Theisinger hybrid from 2019. 2019, 104. And yeah, this one has probably oxalis too. I'm not entirely sure if this is also oxalis, but I want to take it out too. So yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the live stream Cactus podcasting. Just ripping out oxalis again. Large part of my life is ripping out oxalis. It's very difficult to reliably get rid of, and every time you try to remove it, you basically have to repot the plant afterwards because it is so it roots very deep, especially in the washed pumice. It can easily root in it, and then it becomes so hard to get it out without starting fresh, like without repotting everything. And in winter, I just often don't want to do that. So yeah, pretty big root. Seedling looks interesting. It reminds me of Syrensia crassicaulis. Could be that one. So we'll see. Got to look up the parents of Jürgen Theisinger's hybrid cross. But yeah, this is okay. So next one here. Also, this is not oxalis, I guess. This is also some sort of a weed that comes up in the greenhouse. Or when you move the plants out, you know, the seeds are carried into the pot. Yeah, this one's easier to unroot. But it is so easy to get in trouble with these weeds. They overgrow the seedling, and that is bad because the seedling will no longer get enough light. Okay, so this is navecensis, Echinopsis navecensis, seed grown. We'll see. Only have 2 seedlings from it, but that's already great. Apart from that, this thing will go into the greenhouse again. Haven't seen anything that is super difficult where we should do something. That's okay. Can go back. So, all right. We move this away, and then I'm doing seedlings. Okay. Putting these aside. Later, I will film more of the plant inspection reels again. I had uploaded a few and they were doing great. So maybe I will do that again. All right, so let me continue with the seedlings here. Everything okay? Now maybe 3 weeks old, maybe 4. Lobivia seeds, and I just saw that one tiny seedling has come up. One seedling has germinated here after the others. The others are already pretty big, and in comparison, this new seedling that just came up maybe a few days ago. Apart from that, everything okay. And now I have the container that I dropped. I want to transplant them. Yeah, I mean, when you try to carry 10 things at once, it's just natural that at some point you will run out of luck. it went well for very long, but this one I dropped earlier today. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Gives us a chance to transplant the seedlings on the channel. Okay. Yeah, kind of difficult right now because the soil is so built up. It's like a little fort, like a little mountain in the middle of the container. So we need to kind of move a lot of it to get it back to how it was. Very difficult to get everything on the same level again. Once you have dropped something with the plastic bag that surrounds the pots, you often don't have a situation where all of the soil comes out. And what's more common is that you just drop something, and when you open it up, everything's covered by soil. So that's what I'm trying to undo here. But yeah, a lot of the seedlings are upside down now. Maybe compacting the soil a little bit. This is good to have like a pencil kind of thing with a rubber at the other side. Rubber band thing. Eraser is what I wanted to say. So, okay. Few more, and then everything is kind of all right again. Not great. Maybe let's put in a little bit of water, because that helps us to see a little bit better in there. Like it pushes the soil down. Okay. So yeah, welcome everyone to my stream, Cactus Care stream. And we're just transplanting seedlings that I dropped earlier. Unfortunately, it happens to everyone. And in most cases, you can save the seedlings. It's not a huge thing. You just have to do it carefully. Transplant every single seedling. And don't forget any that are covered by soil, because those will then eventually rot. And you won't even see it because it happens below the soil. So try to find them all. Okay. All right, this is okay. I think we can leave it. Let me show you how they look like. So this is now how everything looks after transplanting them again. A little bit trying to compress the soil a little bit more. I don't want to have large pieces of soil covering parts of the seedlings, because that takes away the light. Light is something that we should always keep an eye on. Important that all the seedlings get enough light. I feel like with seedlings, it's a little bit like society. If everything goes like, if there's one or two bad seedlings in between, like the 6 seedlings in between, the whole thing suffers, you know. And when you have a lot of people that are unhappy in society, it's never good. It will eventually come back. And in this case with the seedlings, it's the same. You just need to have, everything needs to be healthy, a healthy ecosystem in there when you close it up. And if that doesn't happen, if you have seedlings here and there that are just expiring, if the conditions are only great for a part of the seedlings and the others are covered by soil, or they don't get enough light, or they don't get enough water, whatever, then you can lose the whole container, because the seedlings will kickstart a chain reaction kind of thing, where you have a fungal infection in a closed container. And that can be a huge problem. That can instantly mean that you have total loss of the container. Okay, these are very small, but a lot of them, a lot of seedlings in here, and I'm not seeing fungus gnats. I'm always thankful for that. I am easy to please. Today, if I don't see fungus gnats flying out of a bag, that's an entirely good thing. But I can't say that all the seedlings will be all right. I mean, it could be that fungus gnats still have some sort of damage that they caused, but for now it isn't visible. The only thing that I see is one seedling that has come up upside down, that is just germinated and is currently growing into the ground. And I would try to turn it around now. Still very small, so you need to be careful. But it's important to turn it around, because otherwise it could be that one thing that kickstarts the fungal infection. When you're growing something from seeds, you are basically always trying to avoid problems before they come up, because it is so hard to undo anything that happens to the tiny seedlings. If you get a fungal infection, it's usually total loss. If you have heat damage, like if you have the wrong temperature, it can mean you lose them. So many things can go wrong with these tiny seedlings, and it's easier to just, at some point you have made every mistake that you could make, and you just try to prevent that again. So yeah, these are looking okay, but some of the bases of the seedlings might be already a little bit damaged by fungus gnats. Like, you can't tell it at that point. They will need to get a little bit bigger until that shows, until that kind of a damage would show. Okay. So, yeah, these are looking good. Too deep, potted too deeply, sown out too deep in the soil. And here's a piece of wood that is covering seedlings right here. And that needs to be removed carefully, so it doesn't cover the seedlings. I don't want to have anything to grow below that, where I can't see what's happening, where I can't see if it's rotting down there or not. Apart from that, everything looks great. Seedlings are healthy. I mean, they are too deep in the pot, but you don't see it right now. They are under a good plant lamp, and they still get a lot of light. So far, the problem that these are too deep in the pot isn't really causing any problems. So yeah, next one. Checking on our cactus seedlings. This is Uwe Kahle hybrid from 2023. So the seeds were a good 2 years old. Viability a few years is usually not a problem for cactus seeds, but it depends on what kind of a species it is, what kind of a genus. Some species have shorter viability time than others, like where the seeds stay fresh. Okay. Yeah, one seedling, you've probably seen it move in the video just now, might have problems with the roots, the kind of fungus gnat kind of thing, but for now it's okay. It has wiggled around a little when I moved it, but now that I look closer at it, it looks okay. And yeah, welcome to my stream, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm going through seedlings now, and then later maybe we transplant into the washed pumice that I brought. Let me show you again for the people who haven't seen it. So this is washed pumice that I brought extra for the channel to use indoors. And yeah, this is a great medium for cactus seedlings. pH level is perfect. There's a mineral availability for the seedlings, for the roots. It can take in water, it can store water, but without causing root rot. And that is kind of important. You often don't see that in a more organic soil. When a more organic soil is constantly wet around the roots, you will lose the seedling. And with this, it will not cause that kind of thing. It would have to stand in direct water to cause such problems. So washed pumice is often a great mineral, a great sorry, a great mineral medium for cacti, and we will work with it. So yeah, let's put it aside here, and we will get back to it later. I have a few here that are probably full of fungus gnats that I already moved aside, and I want to start transplanting them, but not now. Still a little bit time. But yeah, we're going through more seedlings now. Stuff that we have grown on the channel. So these are just maybe 2 weeks old. Can't be long, and already a fungus gnat comes out. One seedling lies there. It's not a good sign. When you see a seedling that is lying sideways on the ground, it usually means that the fungus gnat was added. I consider transplanting these two, but they are a little bit too small. Transplanting in the very first days of a cactus seedling's life is very dangerous. It can you can easily break the main root, and when that happens, the seedling is just done. You can't do anything anymore then. So I would love to wait maybe another, I don't know, maybe another couple weeks, and then hopefully they are big enough that we can move them. But I don't like that. Now that I watered it, I see another fungus gnat. I think we will have to transplant them. So yeah, putting this one aside, and we will transplant these into washed pumice, and it won't be easy because they are so tiny that they often can't really attach to the washed pumice. Like the particle size of the washed pumice could still be a little bit too big for them, but we will try to make it work. Okay, this looks bad. When I look into this here, I just want to throw the thing against the wall. Seedlings look, I don't know, sick at best. I'm not sure what's going on with this cross, but I need to look at the parents now, so I know what the problem is here. I mean, there's seeds coming up, but not really a lot of them. And this is from Bamboy. This is from my cross between Bamboy and something else. I don't know what it was. I don't recall. But fresh seeds from 2025. But somehow everything looks bad. I would just close it up again. Hope that it will, next time I will look into it, it will be all right again. Just with the hope that this will fix itself. I don't want to look at it. Welcome to my stream, guys, by the way. Great to have you around. Doing cactus work, cleaning cactus seeds later over here. But right now we are checking the seedling containers of the cacti that we've sown out. We are growing everything from seeds here. And yeah, we started sowing them out maybe 1.5 months ago, I guess. Something like that. And everything's looking good here. Healthy seedlings. Great cacti. Lots of spines already. Just closing it up again. Putting it aside. When there's no problems, just close this thing up and let it go. Let them do their thing. They will grow by themselves. Very often the cacti grow better when I leave them alone. Hey mate, welcome to my stream. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Just going through the cactus seedlings here. And we're on a good road, on a good path. Within the next couple of months, we will have some real plants to show already, like where you can see the first spines, the real spines, and you know, everything starting to take shape, where you can already see which kind of a body type comes through from across. We're starting an interesting phase on the channel. So these are that one Caesar Lacrosse that I keep praising, and I can only continue to praise it because the seedlings look great. Sometimes you just have a good cross where everything that you see looks amazing, and this is one of those, in my opinion. Healthy looking seedlings. Okay. No, I want to start here. I want to make a little space here so I can put them there later. And put these aside. Okay. There are too many seedlings. We have sown out too much, but it doesn't matter. That's a problem that future me has to deal with. Definitely not me today. So yeah, who cares? So yeah, these are looking good. Soil a little bit too dry, so we need to add a little bit water. How much water a soil needs depends on how long it takes to dry. If you feel like the soil is completely dry in a closed container, then it's not enough water. In this case, it was like that. I could see that the soil is all puffy and all, yeah, too dry. Cactus seedlings need a little bit of humidity, not much, but a little bit. When they are in a closed container, there usually is humidity in it. But there's a point that where the roots can just grow healthily. And yeah, so I try to have a constant level of humidity in there. Not too much, but also not too little. Okay, more seedlings. A lot of them different kind of colors. You can see that in the video probably. You see some of them are yellowish, some of them are greenish. And that is probably variegation, meaning albino kind of genetic kind of thing. The seeds are from Vers 11. So that is interesting. That is a cool cross. Like Vers 11 is a hybrid by Cactus Vers. And it's now called Macondo Cactus. And it's one of my favorites. It's a multi-hybrid between Lubivia and Trichocereus. And you can see it in the body. It's very unique. Hey, mate. Are the bags one-time use only? No, they are not. You can reuse them. You only have to, like, they go into the recycling bin when they are really beyond saving, like when you have a real fungal infection somewhere in there. But apart from that, I have a big bag where I put in the plastic bags to reuse them for that very purpose. You know, I'm not, because otherwise it would be a giant waste of plastic. You would be constantly throwing away plastic and unnecessarily. So these will be reused. You just have to be careful that you don't reuse them when there's something like mealybug, you know, when there's the infestation, a pest in the bag, or a real fungal infection. Then I wouldn't reuse them. Then they go into the recycling bin. But 90% of these bags, they are taken, like the seedlings are taken out before there are any kind of problems. Okay, so yeah, variegation here. Maybe also partial variegation. We'll see how these will develop. We might lose some of the seedlings here and there because they are just not able to produce chlorophyll. It's such a common kind of thing now on the channel. Been talking a lot about chlorophyll and that I don't really graft plants that cannot produce chlorophyll. For me, whether something can produce chlorophyll is just one of the main things that need to be present if I want to keep a plant or not, you know. I don't keep anything that will not survive on own roots. They just have to do that. Okay, so let me see here. So this is total failure. This thing here, I'm opening it up and there are 5 fungus gnats coming out. There's nothing to be saved here. Nothing. There's no seedling. Absolutely none that survived the fungus gnats. So yeah, I'm closing this up. This will go away. Sort it out. Let's put that away. I'm not even willing to try again with this kind of container because the fungus gnats already have spoiled the soil. They are called fungus gnats for a good reason, and very often they just come and bring fungal infections. Okay, these are looking good. Here's everything all right, luckily. No fungus gnats, at least not yet. You know, you always got to be careful when you open them up and you have the fungus gnats around. But for now, it's looking okay. Here's a variegated seedling. And it's not looking good. It's not growing. It's not doing anything. Just lying there. So I need to really keep an eye on that. I don't think this one will survive, the variegated seedling. I doubt it. It just doesn't look like it has any life in it. But apart from that, the other seedlings look great again. First set of spines growing nicely. A little bit of reddish discoloration in center, but not a problem. Sometimes the plant lamp stresses the seedlings, but as long as they do not get smaller and smaller and smaller, it is not a problem. Okay, next. Uwe Kala hybrid from 2024. Yeah, nothing here. Like, that would really require me to do a lot. There's a tiny seedling that looks, I don't know if it's maybe a monstrose or a crest, or if it's just strongly delayed in development, but I take it out. I think it can make sense to keep seedlings in there that are just a little bit delayed and just grow slower. But in a lot of cases, a seedling grows slower because something isn't all right, and this one just doesn't look like it might make it. You need to make these like gut decisions every time. Like you look into a container, you look at the seedlings, and you need to decide, do you want to give something a chance? Do you want to give a certain seedling a chance, or do you want to take it out? Because very often when you leave something in, it can become a problem very fast. So it can often be the right thing to err on the side of caution and just take the weakish looking seedlings out. Very often I try to give them a chance though. So yeah, next one. So these can go over there again. I've checked them. I now have maybe 10 on the left that we haven't seen, and then we're moving to the seeds, or to the transplanting of the into the washed pumice. Okay, yeah, seedlings are looking great. First spines, and really nice. You know, There's something nice about seeing healthy seedlings, seeing what you have created so far, what you have grown so far. That is one of the things that make this hobby so amazing to me. The fact that you can see these plants come into existence in front of your eyes. That is a great thing. When you're buying seeds, it's far from guaranteed that you will actually be able to grow them. I've bought a lot of seeds in my life, and a lot of them have been unviable, or a lot of them, I don't know, they were the wrong species, whatever. But it's just a special feeling to see the seedlings come up in front of you. You can never have enough seedlings. It's something that a friend of mine used to say. Okay, these are a little bit too deep in the pot. But apart from that, everything all right. Seedlings are looking great. And I think I transplanted some of them. And now they are looking perfect. Like they are growing into the new medium where I had to move them a little bit. And now I see that they have reacted nice to that. So yeah. And here we have seedlings that we transplanted into washed pumice. The washed pumice that I've shown earlier. Here you can see it in use, in full use. And this is looking great, actually. The seedlings are looking perfect. If you have the right kind of particle size and you are putting in nutrients for them, washed pumice can be great. In this case, the washed pumice doesn't really have nutrients, so we need to start fertilizing them soon. That is something that you just don't have in that form with other soil. Like you need to, of course, you need to fertilize seedlings in normal, classic, organic, or in sowing soil. You need to fertilize them too, long term. But this is completely devoid of nutrients. So you might have to start fertilizing right away. Apart from that, everything's looking good. And when we fertilize them, we will do it in a very diluted kind of concentration, maybe 1/5 or 1/10 of the actual dosage of the fertilizer. We will apply that on the channel. Just try to use it and see how the seedlings react to it. Whether we will lose seedlings or not, we'll see. Probably not. But every use of a chemical is always a risk. Okay. So in here, these are Lobivia winteriana seedlings, and everything's looking great. Lobivia winteriana is one of my favorites. I like to show it a lot on the channel, in the flower videos, and also when I'm sowing out. I just made it a habit to sow out everything with Lobivia winteriana if I can. It's just such a great Lobivia species, and it produces amazing results all of the time. I haven't seen a really, really bad kind of hybrid with Lobivia winteriana. I've had some that had tiny flowers, so the flower size wasn't great, but they had an amazing kind of color. So even if they fail, there's something good about them, and that makes them useful, makes them special. And every year, I think I make maybe 50, 60 crosses with Lobivia winteriana. I have a lot of plants, and I try to use them. In this case here, the seedlings have just come up maybe 3 weeks ago, and I'm now busy removing the seed husk, seed corn thing from the tip, because they often get stuck when the germination takes place, and that can be a huge problem, can cause an infection. Once again, I'm doing something to prevent an infection, and that is a pattern that I do. That is a pattern that you see on the channel. it is so much easier to prevent an infection than to heal it. So always do everything that it takes so it doesn't happen. All right. We'll close them up again now. Everything okay apart from that. Healthy looking seedlings. At some point we might have to transplant them into washed pumice, because Lobivia is a very kind of drought loving species, genus sometimes, and I mean there are some Lobivia species that take a fair amount of humidity, but in my opinion they are very sensitive to root rot, problems from the root system. So washed pumice can be great for them. Okay, here, yeah, looking good. Nice. Flying Dragon Cantora hybrid by Uwe Kahle. Healthy looking seedlings, healthy color, healthy spines. Really nice. So yeah, and welcome to the stream, guys. If you have any questions, write them in the comments. I'm happy to answer. If not, I will move along, just do the cactus stuff that I'm doing here. But I'm always happy to, to take a moment away from this and reply. So yeah, these are looking okay. Some bigger, some smaller, some a little bit more yellowish. So maybe there's variegation going on in there. Might be. We'll see. Soil is a little bit too dry. I want to put in a little bit of water, but only really just a few drops. I try to have a constant kind of steady humidity level in these bags. I don't want to have water pooling at the bottom. I don't want to have the soil being too dry. It has to be perfect, like just slightly humid, to make sure that the roots have a good chance to dig themselves in. Okay, next one. I'm almost through, maybe 2, 3, 6 or 7. Can already move these away again. These will come. These will come back under the on the channel within the next week maybe, and by that time I hope that some of them will have grown a lot. Okay. No, this looks bad. This is fungus gnat. I know it. I know them. So there's a seedling that is completely like that suddenly disappeared, like you can only see it looks like a shell, completely transparent, hollow kind of thing. And this was caused by fungus gnats. So I'm seriously considering transplanting. And there's the fungus gnat. I see it. Yeah, we might transplant these. I don't want to I don't want to deal with the fungus gnats anymore. These will go into the washed pumice too. I don't care. These are good seedlings. I looked at the label and it says bamboy. And when I read bamboy and I see a fungus gnat, then I'm getting depressed. So this one, there's a discoloration at the seedling, and I don't like that at all. Let me see if it's maybe just... So there's this big seedling lying here, and there's a brown spot on it, and I don't really like that at all. Yeah, this is probably also fungus gnat related. Normally we could already take out the seedling. This is already a bad thing. But seedling looks great. It's the biggest seedling in the whole thing, and I'm I'm wondering if it can make it or not, you know? Probably not, but I would give it a chance. But this is the type of stuff, you know, you have a bunch of fungus gnats in a bag and they start chewing on the seedling, and the next thing you know, you just see a brown spot. And the fungus gnat's gone by then. You just see the brown spot and you wonder how that came to be. And it's usually the constant micro injuries that these little guys cause. Okay, let me see here. Everything all right? No fungus gnats. Healthy seedlings. Nice set of spines. Everything okay. Want to close it up again right away. Don't want to have fungus gnats come into this one. In this case, the fungus gnats came from the soil that we got. Every now and then you just get a bunch of soil that isn't really, where something got to it first. Like if you have a little hole in the bag, it can already be an entry door for fungus gnats. So these here, Humcus roro, potted too deep, discolored, some of them. But apart from that, some of the seedlings look normal. So maybe we will get 1 or 2 seedlings to adulthood, to flowering. For now, even the variegated seedlings look okay. But I've discussed Humcus roro extensively at the channel, and it's just something. It's a white intergeneric hybrid, and those hybrids just tend to be more genetically troubled. It can happen. Okay, so here, not happy at all. I'm not sure if the temperature wasn't met, but only a few seedlings, only 2 or 3, and the ones that are there, they look like they are genetically troubled too. This is also a multi-hybrid from Hildewinterer Echinopsis hybrid, and they are famous for having such poor genetic health, because the population that, like in nature, there's a very limited distribution in nature of that genus, former Hildewinterer. They are just only found at a few populations, and the genetic pool is accordingly small. Okay, so this is the last one, by the way. These are looking great. Healthy seedlings, healthy green, no fungus gnat, no nothing. Nice to end this series of container checking with something that looks healthy. I already forgot how that feels. Okay, so let's do a little bit of the washed pumice thing. I intentionally have it with a little bit of humidity. I don't want to have it too dry. I don't want to sit in the dust here. So when I work with this kind of stuff, I always put a little bit of water on it. That is my recommendation if you are working with minerals. Make sure to water them before you use it, before you move it, because when you do that, you are not really exposed to the dust so much. Okay. Just put it like this. Okay. Closing it up again. I don't want anything to get in there. So now I have the washed pumice here, and I want to start transplanting seedlings. Okay. So this is the one with Bamboy. I just hope that in this new soil they will be better. They will do better. I don't want to see any kind of additional kind of losses where the fungus gnats take apart the seedlings. I will really try to get as many of those to adulthood as possible. So when I transplant them now, I carefully remove them from the soil, and I carefully also try to get rid of the remnants of the soil, because what you don't want to do is transplant them in a new medium and transplant them together with the fungus gnat larvae that is sitting on the root. So you have to do a little bit careful cleanup work here. And that is so dangerous, because the tiny root, the tap root at the bottom, like that thing, it is so sensitive. It can break off, and they don't really regrow. Sometimes you just manage to save a seedling when it manages to root again, kind of. But very often, once the main root is gone, the seedling will not be able to make it. Okay. And again, always trying to remove as much of the soil as possible. We don't want to just give the fungus gnats a new home. We want to leave them behind. So yeah, transplanting every seedling now. And this is going to take time. This is just a time-consuming thing, and I hate it. It's not something that you do and where you feel like, oh, this is great. I love it. This hobby is the best. It's just something where it's time-consuming. You need to repeat the same thing. You need to do the same seedling moving. But once you see them growing healthily in the new soil, then it will be worth it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of seedlings in there. Maybe you have health now. But I'm pretty sure when they are growing in the washed pumice, these will do great. These will do so much better. This one here, I feel like the base, the very base of the seedling already looks a little bit transparently. I don't know, transparent, whatever. But it's looking like the fungus gnats had a munch at it. I'm sure if you would zoom in now, if you were able to zoom in now, you might even see something there. So I consider if I even want to bring the seedling in, you know, putting it aside, we'll see. Yeah, and always carefully trying to get everything out with the root. There's some that already have a damaged root. Shows it was the right decision to transplant. Yeah, I mean, I want to give it a chance. A bunch of these look like the root system looks a little bit transparent, so I would put it in. Maybe it's just how they look, but this looks very suspect to me. Might have to get me something like a lens to inspect them even closer. Little microscope for the pocket microscope, something like that for the future. It's something that I always recommend for others, but I don't have one right now. It's very useful when you have it. Okay. This was perfect. Got all the soil off the root, but the root itself was intact. Okay. Yeah, it's not easy. If you rip too hard, you just have the seedling without the root. It goes so fast, and I think during the transplanting now that we did, one or two might have lost the root. Just when you pull them out, it is so easy to pull too hard. I really believe we did this at the right time. If I had waited with them for another maybe week or two, think that some of the other seedlings would be lost too. Okay. This was it. But I need to still transplant them, put them into the soil. Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, there are a bunch where I feel like the root system has already suffered. For many years, I've sown out in washed pumice, directly in washed pumice. You can prevent some of the problems with stuff like fungus gnats then. But it has other disadvantages compared to a more organic sowing soil. The seedlings just grow better in a classic sowing soil, in an organic soil. If you want to make up for that kind of for the humidity that the seedlings find in classic sowing soil and the nutrients and all, you have to do a lot to compensate for it. You have to mix a lot of different kind of like additives, like washed pumice. Then you have to add stuff like expanded clay, also a little bit peat, that kind of stuff. It is not easy to just reinvent the wheel, and sowing soil is just one of the things that is universally tested for cactus seedlings too. Seedlings need a little bit more water than larger cacti, so classic sowing soil will be great for them. And in this case, when I'm transplanting, I'm only doing it because I have to. I'm barely using any kind of washed pumice, that kind of stuff, for anything other than the seedlings here. This is the one stage in their development cycle where the washed pumice can give you a huge advantage, like later on, like in the first months, I like to have them in a normal organic kind of soil, and then after maybe 3 to 6 months, something like this is great. Has higher long-term survival rates. Okay. Only thing you got to do is you have to be careful when you handle it. When you pick it up, when you press against the wall, this stuff moves so easily. You might be constantly have to transplant new seedlings again because they have fallen over, because you just moved it and the seedling kind of rolled around. Okay, another one. Last one, I think. The others we will do tomorrow. Okay. Another square pot with washed pumice. Okay. So here's another one that was pretty bad, where I felt like this one needs to be changed too. So let me see here. Oh yeah, I know what these were. I think we need to transplant them. We need to transplant them. There's constantly something wrong with this container. I'm sick of it. I'm not having it anymore. We're transplanting now. And it's not something that I like. But at this stage, when you realize that a container keeps having issues and it keeps having issues, something is not right. Very often a change of soil can help. There are a bunch of seedlings in this container that have just disappeared continuously over the last months. And that shouldn't be like that. I'm not sure what it is, but I suppose there's a fungal infection in this one, real fungal infection. It keeps coming back, and I can't see fungus gnats in here. So now transplanting them into a more mineral medium, that gives me a little bit better drainage around the roots. And that is important when you have fungal infections in a container. Okay. So I wanted to say something. Next week, my window is fixed. I'm happy to report that. My bathroom window will be fixed next week. And then I'm ready for Christmas, being able to have a normal bathroom again around the Christmas time. So yeah, very pleased to say that. Okay, let's see. It will always take time until you have the seedlings fully positioned in the soil. This usually takes a while. And maybe we are splitting them up because there are already a lot of seedlings in here. Yeah, I think we need to split these into two. There are just too many seedlings. I don't want to have it like too close together, everything. The one thing that is a problem when you have a fungal infection, it can spread so easily. The closer the seedlings are together, the easier it has to spread. So I'm trying to thin everything out a little bit here. Maybe a few more, one or two more, and then I will just use another one for the rest. Okay. I would be surprised if this thing comes back in this kind of new soil, but we will see. This was one of the most interesting kind of crosses, and it had the biggest problems with fungal infections. Okay, last one. So yesterday I started watching the classic Christmas movies. I started watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's one of the movies that I watch every year around Christmas. Really cool movie. I like it. I mean, Chevy Chase, you know, he has that bad reputation, but I really like that movie. That movie's really good. So yeah, something happened here. One of the seedlings was still not covered here. I either forgot to cover it, or it had moved already. So I'm writing a second label now for the new pot. So this is 2024 cross number 4. Okay. All right. So now we'll see how everything will turn out in this thing, in the washed pumice. I definitely need to fertilize it soon. So I will bring a fertilizer in, or maybe a mix like in a sprayer that we can fertilize. I don't want too much fertilization early on. I just want to have them grow naturally at the natural kind of speed. But a little fertilizer here and there doesn't really hurt, you know. It's not bad. It's just that I try to not do it indoors. Okay. So these will go into the new bag again, and then hopefully the fungal infection will be behind us here. I won't hold it against them. There's a fungus gnat coming out here, so this could also be fungus gnat related. I mean, fungal infection, fungus gnat, you know, don't have to be the best in school to kind of make that connection. So yeah, most of the seedlings are all right, but every now and then I have one that would not have made it if I hadn't seen it. And they would have just disappeared again, like the others. So. Oh no, now I ripped off the roots. This was a perfect example. I will put it in the hope that it would just heal, but that's a very bad kind of situation for the seedling. I don't think it will recover, probably not. But the good thing is now that we have it in the washed pumice, the infection might not spread so fast. Even if it comes back, one or two seedlings here and there, they would probably not infect the others. Okay. It's more. A lot of seedlings sticking together. Sometimes it can be good to keep them together because they give each other a little bit of stability when you have different kind of seedlings besides each other. But also if there are problems, they're close together too. So it goes both ways. Okay. So here's a tiny seedling that has germinated, but it's just tiny, like a tiny little thing that probably will not grow. We'll see how this will go with them. I hope we can save a lot of them. This is a good cross. I like it. I really like that cross from 2024. Good cactus breeding year for me. Made a few really good crosses. It's ironic, you know, it was such a bad year for me personally. But in regards to the cactus stuff, a lot of good stuff happened that year. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. Maybe 4 or 5 that are still out. Starting to get crowded in there, but I try to get them all in. Okay. Okay. There's a piece of wood that is completely connected with the seedling. I don't dare to remove it. Let's see. No. I can't wiggle it like without breaking the seedling, so we just have to hope that it doesn't really contain anything. Every now and then you feel that if you would press it with the seedling, it would not make it. Okay, last two. And they are small. I can fit them in everywhere here. Yeah, here's another seedling, but it looks unhealthy. We will not bring it in. Here's one. Okay, we will bring this one with us. Okay. This should be it. Okay. So now trying to kind of bury this little piece of wood here in a way that it doesn't interfere with the other seedlings. It's such a shame that I have to transplant this cross. This is a good cross. I'm really worried about losing some of them. Okay. So this soil goes away. It's contaminated with fungus gnats. Just putting it aside. This too. Okay. This will go into the recycling. Okay. So now I'm trying to position them a little bit better. Just kind of giving it a like the last finish that you would put on something. And some of them are not really holding well, like they are not really positioned well, but you just have to give it time. So here's the old label. I will put that in again, but clean it up. I don't want to have anything sticking to it. And then we can close it up and send it on its way. So yeah, this was the one cross. We split it up into 2 containers. So now I'm doing a little bit of seed cleaning here. And then I'm maybe in another, like in 20 minutes or so, I'm gonna end the stream, but for now, doing a little bit of seed work here. I've been cleaning these since yesterday. Lobivia, multi-hybrid kind of thing. So I'm cleaning everything up. So we can sow them out soon. This is the kind of stuff that I want to sow out. Okay. So I brought me a little bag of for seeds. Bunch of bags for seeds here. Okay. Lobivia, multi-hybrid kind of seeds. Going in here. No, not with a pen, sir. Where's that other pen? I just had it. Okay. Okay, next one. Cleaning this up. So over here I have seeds of Cerenzia telegonoides hybrid Ulf Meerbold. Super nice flowers this year. And I repotted that plant. I'm not sure if it will flower next year. Maybe not. Every now and then when I repot a very big plant, it will instantly focus on growing roots. And that will mean that the next year it isn't flowering. So this year we had 10 flowers on that big plant, on that Cerenzia telegonoides hybrid Ulf Meerbold. Big kind of apricot pastel kind of color, and it looked great. The video looked great. I love it. It was an amazing video. Like when I was standing in front of the window this year. One of my favorites. So maybe we can get something cool from the seeds too. I've had a lot of people ask about seeds here. So I would try to clean it up, get it done here. But we need a little bit more extra cleaning. So welcome everyone to my stream, by the way, who joined us late. Happy to take questions if you want. If not, I will just clean seeds here, clean cactus seeds. In this case, Cerenzia arboricola, telegonoides hybrid Ulf Meerbold. Really good. And telegonoides is a species that barely anyone knows. Like people just don't know it. It took me half my life to learn that it even exists. Like me, who has been looking into that kind of subject very extensively, and it's just one of the species, that is less popular. That is not so common. It's a very rare kind of species. Interesting kind of body. Doesn't get huge, like maybe 100 centimeters, maybe a little bit more. The ones that I had, they start growing somewhat columnar, and then they kind of break off, lean over a little bit, somewhat not prostrate, but a little bit similar. Could tell a little bit about the genetic background of that species. Whatever has caused that kind of a body to come up. Okay. A lot of, in this one here, I can see a lot of seeds that are just flat, not really any life in them. Every now and then I find one that I sorted out too early, like where there's still life in it, like roundish kind of classic seed kind of shape. But most of the ones that I'm brushing off the piece of paper here, it's just inert material. Really trying to avoid fungal infections when I'm sowing out. And it already starts when you are cleaning the seeds, what I'm doing now. If you want to be really sure, you can even do multiple kind of treatments where you just wash them repeatedly over and over again until everything is super clean. That definitely increases the viability. Okay. Yeah, so Ulf Meerbold, this was the fourth fruit that it had. It had a bunch of fruit this year on it. Due to the fact that there were so many flowers, it also had a lot of fruits. it didn't grow all of them, so I'm not sure if it's self-fertile, but it's definitely very fertile in a way, you know, like it easily produces the fruit, and that is something that you don't see on every cactus. Okay. In the next few days, I'm finally starting to kind of come a little bit to rest. Had a lot of stuff going on at the house, and yeah, it was a stressful kind of last few months were super stressful on me. So I'm just looking forward to finally having a few calmer days. You know, like when the post off when there's no post coming, when the mailman doesn't come over to bring any kind of bad bills, any kind of letters where people want money. Just a few days where, like the holidays, where everything is closed. I'm really looking forward to that. Right now it's pretty warm here. Not really the kind of Christmas weather that we always have in mind when we think about Christmas, but yeah. From a cactus breeder's point of view, that's great because I don't have to pay a lot for the heating. Okay. Yeah, cleaning everything up here. Just trying to get rid of the dust, the little kind of stuff that is crammed in with the seeds here that just comes from remnants of the fruit. And in the next, I don't know, in the next months we will have to clean more seeds because there are even more now that haven't even been cleaned yet. And when we clean them, we will clean them good. We will really do it right this time. I finally have a little bit more time to do that, and we will film it too. Just doing the little cactus work that's always done behind closed curtains, and I'm doing it on the channel. So yeah, Syrensia telegonoides hybrid Ulf Meerbold. And it's not a lot of seeds, you know. I mean, if I look at it now, if I would have to guess, maybe 200 seeds at the most. So if you would want to sell something like that commercially, think about like all the work that you have to list these 200 seeds. You would have to split them up into tiny kind of bags. It's not really a business. That's what I'm saying. It's something that you just people who often, like the breeders that sell seeds, they usually do it to see their plants being grown. It's a great way to just make sure that whatever crosses you make, that they get into the hands of the people who want to grow them. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going through everything here. Maybe if I overlooked one or two viable seeds. I'm always touching them, trying to feel the texture, trying to feel if it's round or not. Okay. And it's not a lot more now. One seed that I found here. Found another one and lost that one, but yeah. Telegonoides hybrid Ulf Meerbold. And that species is in Sörensia now. Sörensia telegonoides. Formerly Echinopsis telegonoides and Trichocereus telegonoides. At the time, one of the breeders who really made great work with that species is Rainer Heise. Rainer Heise made a few really good telegonoides hybrids, the older classic ones. So, yeah, a lot of the plants that I have come from him, like indirectly, I mean. Okay. Yeah, you see how much work this is, right? Like, if you really want to grow your own stuff, like just harvest, you know, make the crosses, you harvest the seeds, you have to wash the seeds, then you want to sow them out. What we did here, you see what kind of a time-consuming hobby that is. That is really, every step of this whole thing is difficult, and where you can fail, where there are many ways to fail. Okay. This is a Cantora hybrid that I had. And it was one of the hybrids where I wasn't really super loving the flower. It wasn't bad, but it was, I mean, I looked at it and felt it was, in regards to the color, it was lacking. But then again, every time I posted it, like posted a photo or video, then I looked at it and it looked great. It looked amazing on the video. It looked amazing on the photo. So then I felt like, you know, maybe I was just in a bad mood when it flowered. So I cleaned the seeds. I wasn't sure if I want to do that, but I did. And now I'm cleaning them here a little bit more. And in this case, I tried to improve the flower, like improve the color of the flower. Because the size was already there. It was a decent kind of size, kind of flower. And I just tried to improve the color. Pollinated with pink stripes, if I remember correctly. But I need to look at the video again. Okay. So now I will move it to the piece of paper. And that gives me a little bit more control of cleaning the seeds here. Nice. Okay. I'm always rolling the seeds around on the piece of paper because the seeds are round, and a lot of the stuff that stays back that you find in the center of the paper, a lot of that stuff is not round, so it collects there and you can brush it down. It's not reliable. I'm constantly taking back seeds where I've brushed something off, but at least it gives you a way to clean a little bit when you just have the seeds in front of you. Because it's really time consuming to clean seeds when you're doing it like this. When I used to do seed business, like when I still worked as a commercial breeder, I had to do this a lot. This was a part of my daily life. And today I'm not doing it so often anymore. I'm just doing it on the channel. This is a good chance to do it educationally. So yeah. I barely made any progress with the seeds though. On like in total, I should have really cleaned more seeds by now. I'm never getting done until Christmas. I actually wanted to be done at Christmas, but I don't think that's realistic. We'll see. Okay. I think this is okay, so can stay like that. If I ever give away the seeds, like when I give away the seeds, then I will probably clean them some more. But for now, this is great. Cantora. I think this was one of those titanium kind of Cantora hybrids that I've seen from Markus Fagerer, but I'm not sure. I don't see the label right now, but I remember the flower and I believe that's what it was. There's this one seed that I want to get out now. Okay. So this was the right flower, the right fruit on this Cantora titanium hybrid. Titanium, I think it's referring to the metallic kind of color of the flowers. Okay, 2025. Nice. Just 5,000 more. I think I need to do another one. I actually wanted to be out with the stream now, but I just have to clean a little bit more. Otherwise, I'm never getting done. I just don't. Okay, this is Mamacita. You see, it's good that we're doing it. Every time when I'm cleaning, then I find good stuff. I find good crosses, interesting hybrids. We had so many with Otto Schulz again, Acacia hybrid Otto Schulz. Very fertile plant for me. Every year I have 6-7 fruits on Otto Schulz. And I never really grow them, so that needs to change. Mamacita this year, I think it had 6 fruits also. And Mamacita is a good hybrid. You see the flower? I don't think that it is self-fertile, so the hybrid cross could work out. Good stuff. I should be growing them. I shouldn't take so long with this. And in regards to the size of the fruit, this was a pretty big one. Acacia, they have relatively small flowers. And I mean, in this case, it's an Acacia Echinopsis hybrid. So the fruit size might be a little bit bigger, but it's a fair amount of seeds from such a plant. It's like having a few hundred seeds from a Hilde Winterer. They are also not really super fertile. Not always. There are good and healthy crosses with them, but a lot of them aren't. And I definitely want to sow these out. Mamacita is something that I just have to sow out. I don't know. I just have this underlying kind of dislike for everything that grows like a Hildewinterer, like that prostrate kind of thing that hangs down everywhere, that is in the middle of the greenhouse everywhere, that you just, where you never have space. I just don't really like that. And in the future, I would just put them in a hanging basket kind of pot, because that's how they should be grown, actually. You know, it's difficult because you need a lot of space for them. They get pretty big when they are in a hanging basket kind of pot. But it is very impressive when you see them flowering. So I would do it. And I need to grow more of them, of the crosses that I always do. Every year, I think I have 30, 40 kind of Hildewinterer crosses that I do that work out. I just need to be more insistent with them to grow them. It's just when you're a breeder, at some point, it becomes overwhelming to you. You are sitting in the middle of so many cool plants, and it will become difficult to just, you see how much space it needs to grow what we grow now, just what we have sown out this year on the channel, just in the videos, in the streams. And when they get bigger, every one of these seedlings here, in this one maybe 50 seedlings, if you need to single them out, 50 different kind of pots, you just need like an immense amount of space to grow that. So yeah. And that sometimes you get into a situation where you would love to grow something and you just don't have the space anymore. But if you don't do it as a breeder, nobody else will probably do it. So okay, I think this is almost clean. Not fully, but it's good enough for me. Few seeds here and there that are not viable, where I just feel that there cannot be any kind of living thing in there coming from that. Sometimes it feels like a piece of dust, a piece of dirt. And a seed corn, you can really feel that it feels alive often. So I trust the feeling of my hands here. Okay. You could actually sow this out now. This is the kind of level that I would sow out. And you could continue to do that for another maybe 20 minutes. You would always find something. The cleaner it is, the better. But at some point, you can just start sowing them out and it will be all right. There will probably not be any kind of fungal infections that come up as a result of all the additional plant debris that you allowed to get in there. So yeah, we will be sowing them out. Acacia, Echinopsis hybrid, Mamacita, and as a father, I always chose the best, like pink stripes, or something ruffled, or something like with big white flowers, something interesting every time. So we need to grow them. Mamacita 25. And this is the last fruit of the year. How do I know now which one that was? You know, sometimes I write something down and then I try to understand it afterwards and it's like, what? Okay, guys, I think this is this is good for today. Think I made a nice stream today. Had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for participating and all. Today I showed some of the seedlings first. Then we went through the seed grown stuff that we have been growing. And yeah, think this was interesting to say the least. So thank you for participating in my stream. I appreciate it. And I will be back again tomorrow. So yeah, thank you for being around. It's always a great time. It's always a great thing to do. Okay, thank you.